America has rarely been so divided.
An unprecedented presidential race.
At the heart of the action, inside both candidates' headquarters.
Exactly 1 year ago, Donald Trump won the US presidential election.
That I will be president for all Americans.
It was the end of one of the most ugly presidential races, Trump's Democratic rival Hillary Clinton.
I congratulated Donald Trump, and I'm sorry that we did not win this election.
Gonna curtail the bureaucracy and the debt. Your kids might have a future yet. Sounds like a good idea to me.
It was the end of a long night for Euronews correspondents Stefan Grobe and Mark Davis.
Mark, and we just saw President-elect Donald Trump driving by in his motorcade. What do you make of all this, Mark?
Well, it still seems very strange, Stefan, to hear you say the words President Donald Trump. I think that this election has thrown up a lot of questions. For example, what of the environment when we have a president of the United States who has said that climate change is a hoax? What of human rights when we have a new president of the United States who has in the past defended waterboarding and defended Guantanamo Bay?
Yeah, and what about the wall between the United States and Mexico? This was one of the very first campaign promises that Trump made. Are we going to see this? What about the controversial healthcare law, Obamacare, right? Trump always said, you know, he's going to start undoing President Obama's legacy from day one.
So I wonder whether Trump, the candidate, is going to be a very different person than Trump, the president.
I am your voice.
Well, Mark, that was quite a remarkable night exactly 1 year ago in New York. And you haven't gotten any older, I must say. I'm not sure about myself. This has been an incredible year. Obviously, President Trump. I'm still, struggling sometimes getting used to that. But we've gotten used to so many things in the first year of the Trump presidency since Election Day. What is your take? Did anything that came to your mind a year ago surprise you?
Well, I think we're starting, most of us are starting to get used to the association of the three words President, Donald and Trump together. We're perhaps having a little more difficulty in getting used to his style of presidency. Donald Trump's preferred organ of communication is still Twitter. And this is something that we have never seen before from a US president. We have become used to the daily tirades, the morning tweets that we'll send out that give us quite an idea of the mood that Donald Trump will be in on any given day. And yourself, Stefan?
Well, I think he's exhausting us. He's exhausting us with his tweets and with his bombast. Now that I'm in Brussels, I'm hearing a lot of subdued talk, to put it mildly, among European leaders about the Trump administration. And my feeling is that in Europe, people have settled on a policy of just wait him out. We don't expect anything from him over the next remaining 3 years. Just wait him out. Don't try to educate him or don't try to appease him. He is what he is, and we have to deal with him.
On a world stage, I don't think we should be surprised by anything that Donald Trump's done. He's done, he's trying to do what he promised his voters he would do, which was put America first. America acts unilaterally now rather than seeking to build coalitions and build partnerships. Right. It takes itself out of international agreements, very important international agreements. Right. There's the Iran nuclear deal, there's the Paris Climate Agreement.
His leadership has left a void on the international stage that is now being filled by other players. And China, interestingly, has become a very forceful advocate for climate change, for instance. China presents itself as the spear, as the world leaders spearheading international trade. I mean, it sounds odd, doesn't it?
People have been comparing it to a reality show, to something like House of Cards. And certainly in the first 6 months anyway, you look at the list of casualties in the Trump administration, the Michael Flynns, the James Coneys, the Sean Spicers, the Anthony Scaramucci's. That list of casualties makes it look perhaps a little bit more like The Walking Dead than the House of Cards.
Would you want to cover the 2020 presidential campaign?
I would love to cover the 2020 election campaign, especially if Donald Trump is involved in it. I think Donald Trump, whether you love him or you hate him, Donald Trump is always someone who you can talk about. There's never a dull moment with Donald Trump. Now, what I think is going to be key in the next election is the candidate that the Democrats choose to run against him. What Donald Trump can count on is his base. We know that there is a certain portion of the American electorate who will vote for Donald Trump no matter what he does. We know there's also, on the other side of the aisle, a large significant, in any case, portion of the American electorate who will vote for the opponent of Donald Trump, no matter who he or she is. And what it will come down to are the people in the middle.